Welcome back to the Deep Dive from the All Sorts podcast, your passport to the planet's most perplexing puzzles and fascinating finds. We're here to unearth the extraordinary, distill the essential, and deliver it all straight to your curious mind. If you're ready to have your perspective shifted and your knowledge expanded, then you're in exactly the right place. And if you appreciate the journey we take together, be sure to like this deep dive, share it with fellow explorers, and subscribe to the All Sorts podcast on YouTube. There's a whole archive of past dives waiting for you wherever you listen. And for even more glimpses into the world of wonder, follow All Sorts podcast on X, Instagram, and Threads. Okay, let's get straight to it, because today we are venturing into the arid landscapes of Peru for a truly remarkable story, etched in the very fabric of the earth, the ancient Nazca Geoglyphs. And you won't believe the breaking news. Hundreds upon hundreds of new geoglyphs have just been brought to light.
Wow.
What makes this discovery even more astonishing? The pivotal role played by artificial intelligence.
Yeah, what's immediately captivating here is how cutting-edge technology is offering us fresh eyes on millennia-old mysteries. For those of you tuning into this particular enigma for the first time, the Nazca Geoglyphs, often simply called the Nazca Lines, are these incredible large-scale designs carved into the ground of the Nazca Desert. Imagine carefully removing the dark, oxidized pebbles that cover the desert floor to reveal the lighter sand beneath, creating these colossal figures that have endured for roughly 2,000 years. Thanks to the incredibly stable and dry conditions, these were created by the Nazca people, a fascinating ancient culture that thrived in this region.
Absolutely. And this recent explosion of discoveries is the result of a brilliant collaboration. Archaeologists from Yamagata University in Japan joined forces with the innovative minds at IBM Research. Think about the sheer scope of that. Ancient artistry being rediscovered through the lens of modern AI. The outcome: a staggering 303 new figurative geoglyphs. Yes, you heard that right. This nearly doubles the number of these kinds of images that were previously known over the last century. Since their initial discovery in the 1920s, we'd only identified around 430 of these figurative geoglyphs, mainly through aerial photography and, more recently, drones. Now into what feels like a single bound, thanks to AI. That number has soared.
If we connect this to the broader narrative of archaeological exploration, this represents a monumental leap forward. The Nazca geoglyphs have always held a profound sense of mystery. Why did the Nazca dedicate such immense effort to creating these drawings on such a grand scale? The theories are as varied and intriguing as the figures themselves. Some hypothesize a sacred purpose, perhaps connected to their religious beliefs and rituals. Others suggest a link to calendrical systems and astronomical observations. Were these giant markers aligning with celestial events? And then there's the possibility of communication, either with deities or perhaps as a way to define territories or significant routes.
And the sheer scale and variety are truly breathtaking. You have these massive figures, some stretching up to 90 meters in length. Picture a football field laid out in the sand, but shaped like a spider or a pelican. Then at the other end of the spectrum, you have smaller carvings, some just 9 meters long. And as we'll soon see, it's often these smaller, more subtle figures that have remained hidden until now.
This really brings to the forefront the evolving nature of archaeological discovery. For decades, the process relied on the painstaking work of human eyes, interpreting aerial photographs, later enhanced by drone imagery. While these methods have yielded incredible discoveries over the past century, the sheer immensity of the Nazca Desert, spanning hundreds of square miles, made a comprehensive survey incredibly challenging and resource-intensive, particularly when it came to identifying the smaller, more easily overlooked geoglyphs.
Precisely. So our mission today, as we delve into the details of these discoveries, has two key components. First, we want to understand precisely how AI was instrumental in revealing this wealth of ancient art. What capabilities did this technology offer that traditional methods couldn't match? And second, what do these new findings, this near doubling of the known figurative geoglyphs, tell us about the Nazca culture and the enduring puzzle of why these enigmatic figures were created?
The power of AI in this context lies in its remarkable ability to discern patterns within vast quantities of data. The researchers trained an AI algorithm using high-resolution images of the previously known Nazca geoglyphs, many of which had been captured by drones since 2020. Think of it as teaching a highly diligent student the visual language of the Nazca geoglyphs, exposing it to their various forms, styles, and states of preservation.
Okay, so the AI receives its visual education,
Yeah.
its own kind of Nazca Geoglyphs 101. Using these existing images, what happens next? Does it simply start analyzing new photographs and shouting, "Found one, another one"?
Not exactly. Once the AI had been trained, it was applied to new aerial drone photographs, covering the Nazca Desert. Its task was to pinpoint potential locations where new geoglyphs might be concealed. What's quite remarkable is the sheer volume of the initial results. The AI identified an astounding 47,000 potential locations across that vast 243 square miles of desert.
Wow, that sounds like trying to find a specific grain of sand on an entire beach. So was the AI a little too enthusiastic in its initial assessment?
That's a very accurate way to put it. While incredibly powerful, the AI technology wasn't infallible. This is where the indispensable role of human expertise came back into play. The archaeological team then faced the daunting task of filtering through these 47,000 suggestions. They meticulously reviewed the AI's findings, ultimately narrowing it down to 3,309 sites that they deemed to have a high potential for actually being geoglyphs.
So the AI acted as an incredibly efficient first-stage filter, highlighting areas that warranted closer scrutiny. By the experienced human researchers, it dramatically reduced the search area, but the final confirmation still required the trained eyes and contextual understanding of the archaeologists on the ground.
Precisely. This synergy between AI and human expertise is the real key to this breakthrough. The AI could process immense amounts of visual information, far more rapidly than any human team could, identifying subtle visual cues and patterns that might easily be overlooked. But the archaeologists brought their deep contextual knowledge of Nazca culture and the surrounding landscape. To verify whether these AI-flagged areas were indeed authentic geoglyphs, this led to the crucial ground truthing field survey, conducted between September 2022 and February 2023. This ground truthing involved physically visiting the AI's suggested locations to confirm with their own eyes whether these were actual geoglyphs, and ultimately, it was this process that confirmed the existence of the 303 new figurative geoglyphs.
And it's not just the sheer number of new geoglyphs that's so significant, is it? The research also provides new insights into the types of geoglyphs being discovered and their potential purposes. The study published in PNAS Nexus emphasizes a critical distinction between what they term line type and relief type figurative geoglyphs.
This is a really important distinction. The larger, more widely recognized geoglyphs, often depicting animals like the monkey or the condor, are classified as line type. They are characterized by these clear, stark outlines, created by the removal of the darker surface stones. The newly discovered geoglyphs, in contrast, are predominantly relief type. These tend to be smaller, and depict different motifs, often subjects related to human activity, such as humanoids, decapitated heads, and domesticated animals like llamas. So what we're seeing isn't just more ancient art, but potentially a sophisticated system of visual communication, tailored to different audiences and purposes within the Nazca society, a public art for large gatherings, and a more personal messaging system along their pathways.
So it's not just a case of finding more of the same. It's like uncovering a whole new chapter in the story of the Nazca people, thanks to the AI.
Yeah.
And the study highlights some fascinating differences in where these two types of geoglyphs are located and what they might have been used for.
Exactly. The distribution of these two categories of geoglyphs appears to be closely linked to different types of pathways. Across the Nazca Pampa, the relief-type geoglyphs are typically found much closer to ancient trails, these informal winding footpaths that crisscross the desert landscape. The average distance is remarkably close, only about 43 meters. This proximity strongly suggests that these smaller human-centric figures were likely intended to be seen, and perhaps contemplated by individuals or small groups. As they traverse these trails, the researchers propose that they might have served as a means of conveying information about human activities, perhaps even depicting ceremonial scenes or significant individuals.
That makes perfect sense. If they're smaller and located near a footpath, they seem designed for more personal individual viewing experience, almost like leaving messages for travelers. What about the larger line-type geoglyphs? Where are they usually situated?
The study indicates that the giant line-type figurative geoglyphs, the ones featuring the wild animals, are more closely associated with the intricate network of linear and trapezoidal geoglyphs, these large geometric shapes and straight lines, that are also a prominent feature of the Nazca landscape. They are found an average of just 34 meters from this network. This association points towards a different purpose, perhaps one that was more community-oriented, linked to ritualistic activities or even processions, along these more formal linear routes.
So it's like having two distinct forms of visual expression in the desert: the grand public art of the line-type geoglyphs, connected to communal spaces, and the more intimate personal messages of the relief-type geoglyphs. Along the everyday pathways, the Nazca people seem to have had a sophisticated understanding of visual communication, tailored to different contexts.
That's a very insightful interpretation. The fact that the relief-type geoglyphs so frequently depict humanoids, decapitated heads, and domesticated animals subjects directly relevant to human life, further reinforces the idea that they were conveying information about human activities. The absence of these motifs in the line-type geoglyphs, which predominantly feature the natural world, strengthens the hypothesis of distinct functions for these two types of ancient artwork.
And it's truly remarkable that the AI proved to be so effective at identifying these relief-type geoglyphs, the smaller, more easily overlooked ones. What made it so adept at this particular task?
The AI model was specifically trained to recognize these smaller relief-type geoglyphs, which often exhibit subtle contrast with the surrounding desert and had fewer existing examples for the AI to learn from initially. The researchers employed a technique known as transfer learning, where they began with an AI model already trained on a vast dataset of natural photographs, and then refined it. Using the relatively smaller collection of known Nazca geoglyph images, they also developed a clever gridded classification model that could break down each training geoglyph into smaller segments, effectively increasing the number of training examples. This allowed the AI to become significantly more skilled at detecting the faint visual signatures of these elusive carvings.
It's just astounding how this technology is not only helping us discover more, but it's also enabling us to discern the subtle differences and categories within these ancient artworks. This AI-driven survey has truly amplified our understanding, not just the count, of these figurative geoglyphs, and it's striking to note that the researchers themselves highlight the historical rate of discovery, being around 1.5 figurative geoglyphs per year. Then with the advent of high-resolution imagery, it jumped to nearly 19 per year. And now with the integration of AI, they've identified 303 in just 6 months of field survey. That's an exponential leap in discovery.
It unequivocally suggests that AI is poised to revolutionize the field of archaeological discovery, especially in scenarios where the features are subtle, spread across vast terrains, or difficult to differentiate from their natural surroundings. The success achieved with the Nazca geoglyphs could serve as a compelling model for applying similar AI-powered approaches to other archaeological sites around the globe, potentially unlocking countless other hidden facets of our shared human history.
So looking ahead, what are the broader implications of this? Not just for the Nazca Lines themselves, but for the field of archaeology as a whole.
The implications are indeed profound. This demonstrates the immense potential of AI to enhance and accelerate archaeological research. In significant ways, it empowers researchers to focus their time and resources more strategically, targeting areas with a higher probability of yielding discoveries. Furthermore, with its capacity to analyze vast data sets of imagery, AI can help us identify patterns and establish connections that might remain invisible to the human eye, potentially leading to entirely new insights into ancient cultures and their practices, and crucially in the context of preserving invaluable cultural heritage sites like Nazca. Enhanced identification and comprehensive documentation are essential for developing effective strategies to mitigate threats from both natural forces and human activities.
Absolutely. It's like equipping archaeologists with both a superpowered magnifying glass and a tireless, incredibly efficient research assistant, all rolled into one. And considering the distinct characteristics and locations of these line-type and relief-type geoglyphs, it really sparks the imagination. What further revelations might future research, perhaps leveraging even more advanced AI capabilities, uncover about the intricate social structure, belief systems, and daily lives of the Nazca people? Could these vast desert etchings hold even deeper secrets, waiting to be deciphered through the ever-evolving lens of artificial intelligence? It's a truly thought-provoking prospect. And on that note, as we draw this fascinating deep dive into the Nazca Lines and the groundbreaking role of AI in their rediscovery, to a close, we hope your mind is buzzing with the ingenuity of the ancient Nazca people and the transformative power of modern technology in illuminating their world. If this exploration has ignited your curiosity and expanded your understanding, please do us a favor and spread the word, like this deep dive. Share it with someone who you think would find it as captivating as you did.
And subscribe to the All Sorts podcast on YouTube. We have a rich collection of other fascinating topics we've explored in depth, so be sure to listen to our other deep dives wherever you get your podcasts. For even more behind-the-scenes glimpses and updates, you can find us by searching for All Sorts podcast on X, on Instagram, and Threads. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery, and we eagerly anticipate exploring the next intriguing corner of our world with you, right here on The Deep Dive.